So if you're looking for a tutorial on how to make a comfortable wig cap with ear taps where your ear is going to sit, no pain, no pressure. If you want to make the best glueless wig ever with maximum comfort, maximum stability, zero stress, zero whatsoever, then you're at the right place. Make sure you watch this video to the end because I'm definitely going to show you how to make a closure glueless wig with open ear tabs that is going to give you maximum satisfaction with minimum discomfort because pain is not supposed to hurt. Hello besties, it's your girl Book Easy Fashion here. So if you're new to my page, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, you can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook. Just make sure you check me out, like, subscribe, comment, and share this video to friends. It might help someone. So let's get right into it. So first things first, we're going to create our ear tap. So first thing, I kind of forgot to record the part where I was cutting out the ear tap. So basically, if your ear to ear is 11, right, then at the point where that 11 ends, you're going to cut out 1 inch on each side and then take it out, then sew it down to hold it in place, and that's what is going to give you the ear taps you see here. Next, we're going to capsize. So basically, when I'm doing my closure wigs, I pull the wig cap to the front. You can pull to the front, to the back. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it off. So it doesn't really matter. So yeah. So pull it to the front. Make sure it's nice and flat. But it's not you don't pull it so much, right? Because you know at the end of the day, this wig cap is stretchy. So if you pull it a lot, it might not fit. So you just want to make sure it's nice and flat and relaxed. So when you have all that pinned down, in my previous videos, I'll just go ahead to reduce this with my hand, my machine, with my needle. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it with your machine. So instead of pinning it down, you're going to pin it across, right? The areas where you're going to work on it, you're going to go with your pin across. That way to make like a guide. Those that do tailoring are very what I'm saying. And yeah, so my machine was acting up, so I just went ahead to like oil it so it's not going to stress me because I had a lot to do this day, so I wasn't even waiting for the drama. So I just went ahead to service my machine, give it a little bit of treatment, and bam, voila, here we go. So I was using a zigzag stitch, right? So basically, when you're sewing your wig cap, what you want to do is to place it under your machine. And remember, we put our pins across, right, to hold it, like kind of like to let us know where you're going to sew. So as you're sewing and you get to the area where your pin is, you're going to gently take it off. Please be very careful so you don't sew your pin. It can damage your machine, it can destroy your needle, and yeah, so just take your time, sew at a slow pace, and stop immediately before you get to your pin, and then take it out and basically do the same thing over and over till you get to the end of the wig cap. And for a better view, yep, here's what it's looking like. You can see how we capsize our wig cap and it's looking very straight, nice and flat. And now we're ready to go to the next step. So we're going to put this on our canvas head, ready for the next step, the closure placement and guidelines and so on and so forth. Yep, a little bit should dance. So here's the wig we're working with. As you can see, this wig is giving its range. We had to save it. So it's kind of years old, and when I did this wig, I didn't even know what I was doing. So I'm just writing my wrongs, guys, no judgment. So yeah. So we're going to take it out. First of all, I took out the closure and then I took out the bundles, and then I'm going to go ahead and comb it out, detangle it before I begin my process, right? So it's kind of tedious, just take your time. Laying around, you can just take it off and follow my tutorial and make your wig to look brand new, give it a new shine and just something different, right? So yeah, so this is the part where I'm brushing it out and just arranging my bundles before I begin sewing. So now that we're done with that, we're going to go to the closure placement. So first of all, I'm going to fold my closure into two. I'm going to decipher the middle part, the front and the back, and then I'm going to place it kind of half an inch forward or 1 inch forward for my wig cap right into my canvas head, and then I'm going to pin the back as well, as you can see. So now that I have this both secured, I can go to the sides. So I pin the sides and then I go to the back, and now it's time to just make sure everything is flat. So just because it's a closure wig doesn't mean it should be bumpy, it should be ragged. You say it has to be flat. You still need to make sure the sides are flat, the back is laying flat if you want your closure, if you want your wig to sit perfectly on your head, right? So yeah, after that we're going to sew it down. And you could also use your machine to do this, but for now I'll just use my hands. I just think it's easier that way. It might be easier with the machine, right? Yeah. So but for now I'll just use my hands to do that. And yep, now that I'm done, here's what it's looking like. So make sure when you're sewing this, you don't give a lot of gaps. You want your stitches close together for that clean feel. And then now we're going to draw our guidelines. So since I'm using this polymer canvas head, it's actually easy to draw the guidelines as I just follow the guides from the polymer. So basically your guides can be 1 inch long or 0 point something inches, maybe not half right. So depending on your bundles, you're going to know if you have to redraw your guidelines, right? Or you have to double wefts or you have to single wefts. So you can see that based on my guidelines, I had to redraw it. I had to use a different strategy because the one I did wasn't going to work. So I went with this, which is the style I recommend actually. So now I went my bundle measurements, so see if my bundles are going to fit with this new guide I drew, and yep, it's it. So now we're going to begin the sewing process. So you place your bundles on your machine and you begin sewing on your first line, right? And you begin sewing. So when you start at the beginning, you're going to back stitch so that you can secure that stitch in place, and then you keep going. And basically you're going to have to do this for the rest of the week. So yeah, so you're just going to make sure your pace is nice and slow. So since this is a machine wig tutorial, obviously I'm going to mostly talk about machine wigging, but if you're doing this with your hand, then you're just going to repeat the same process. When you sew your first line, when ending it, you're going to see where I'm ending my line. I'm going to end it on the second line. I think I'm going to do this more clearer in another clip so you can see exactly what I'm saying. So this is for people who don't like to cut their wefts. Personally, I don't like cutting my wefts because it's just going to make it easier for it to get missing. Like if I have a lot of wefts, it's just going to get missing easier. So instead of cutting my wefts at the end of each line, I just turn it over. But this method only works for longer hairs, right? Maybe if you're doing like a pixie wig, I don't advise or recommend you do that because you always need like you want your pixie wigs to lay flat. So definitely when you get to the end, you cut it off and move. But since this is a long wig, you see where I ended it on the second line, right? So I think this is an up close. So you can see the line I'm on. That's the line I'm sewing on. I'm not going to end it on that line. I'm going to take it to the upper line, to the next line, and that's where I'm going to end it. That way it's easy for me to rotate it and continue on the next line without cutting off my wefts. So when I get to that place, I also make sure I backstitch to secure it, and then you're going to rotate it. So basically you turn your wefts like I'm doing. Yeah, just like that. You're going to send it inside your machine and you're going to turn it. So if you are doing this with your hand, it might be more easier. So now that I've turned it, I'm on the same line. I'm going to backstitch again before I continue. Maybe I cut that out. And that's how I sew my wigs at the end if I'm not going to cut it off. So you can see that when I get to each end, I always make sure I finish the wefts on the next line. And then when I get to that line, I just begin sewing. So my machine was kind of acting up. And yeah, so yeah, let's continue. So basically I'm just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over till I'm done with the wig. So Wig measurement is very important because you can get to a critical point like this and then you notice your bundles are not going to be enough. I was just saying how perfectly this wig ended. Like the first wave ended so perfectly at this side. Like this wig gave me so much peace and no stress. I mean, she was acting up, but the wig itself was just so peaceful. So we are done with half of the week and we have one more bundle left. So now I'm just going to redraw my guidelines since it was wiping off, since I used chalk. I didn't know where my marker's chalk was, so I just used normal chalk. So it was kind of wiping off and I had to know the guidelines I was working on so I don't miss something. So we just keep doing that till we get to the center part, right? So you're going to notice that the more you get to the end, the more difficult it's going to be, especially with curly hairs like this. It's becoming very thick to work with, like you have a very little area to work with. And I was at the end, guys, and look at how just perfect this works. Well, that's why I always advise to always do your week measurement. Like always measure your bundles if you're going to be enough. Just take your bundles and go over your guidelines and make sure you get to the end to see if it's going to be enough. If it's not going to be enough, you can redraw your guidelines to make it sufficient. You can reduce your guidelines if your bundles are small. You can increase your guidelines if you have more bundles. You can double weft, you can triple weft if you want a thicker wig, or you can just keep half bundle on the side. You always need it for something, right? So yeah, so here's what the wig is looking like. You can see how clean the interior of the wig is, how perfect it is compared to what it was at the beginning of the video. You can see a very great improvement. So we have come to the end of this video, and if this video helped you in one way or the other, please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share to your friends. It might help someone as well. Like I said, you can follow this guide whether you're machine wigging or your hand wigging. You're just going to do the same thing like I said. So just follow it and you're going to have the same results. So this is what the wig is looking like. Some people love to wear their wig like this without styling, and I'm some people. I just like the volume, but nevertheless I'm going to style it. And I'll just wearing this wig to show people that always be like when I charge for wigging, right, I always charge for wigging and styling because you don't want me sending your wig looking like this. Even if you're going to wear it like this, I'm still going to hot comb it. I'm still going to give that nice center part, so you wear something that is very presentable and nice. So just showcasing the ear tabs where your ears are sitting, and you can see that this wig is not going to be any stress to you if you follow my guidelines. So here's the other ear tab. It sits on your ear, so perfect, so fitted, no stress, no worries, just slay. And yep, I'm very clumsy like that. So well, we have come to the end of this video, and if you know me, after each install, after each weekend, after each coloring session, after anything I do, I always need to clean up. So here is a clean up part. So I'll just make sure I tidy the place, ready for my next client or the next thing I have to do, or waiting for the next day. It's just easier than doing it before an appointment. It's just less chaotic. So I just always do it after each install or anything I have to do. And yep, and we're done, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notification. I'm going to post how I style this video and you do not want to miss that. See you.